There we go. Hello and welcome to round 15 of the Dragon Racing League, as we are here at Suzuka in Japan for a wonderful round of Formula 1. As you can see, we have 10 drivers on the grid today. Flick, Brian Autry, Wolf, Younger, the Johnny Damon, Boogie, Racer X, B Schultz, Wolfsburg Tuner, and Knick Knack Paddywhack. As you can see, Knick Knack Paddywhack has apparently retired, unfortunately, already. We can see Brian has set our first fast lap with a 1:33.172. And Flick here is looking like he's getting pretty close, although I think our Alpine here is, oh no, he's about to start his first flying lap. Unfortunately for the Aston Martin, Younger, he did invalidate that lap, so he's going to turn on that harvest, get some more, and that's probably not what you want there if you're Wolf. Going a little squirrely coming out of there. And we can see here as we are on board with Racer X as he is about to come through. He's setting a purple sector 2 there on his way to the final couple corners. This little quick chicane, little bit of a slip up through there. And gets back on the throttle. Let's see how this is going to go for him. Just hug the right side and he will hop into P1 with a 1:29.032. It is 19 turns. A bunch with fun names and a bunch with names that make no sense. Personally, I prefer the 130R corner as one of the nice ones, and then first turn is literally called first turn, in case you were curious. B Schultz taking over on provisional pole there with a 1:28.334. Ooh, I believe I just saw purple sector 3. Oh yeah, that was Schultz, so that's good. Flick getting himself in there, 1:30. Younger, it looks like he has a green sector 1. So he's on his way to finishing up sector 2. We'll see where this will end up putting him. So the detection zone is actually before turns 16, 17, and 18, the Casino Triangle. Or, sorry, Casio Triangle. And then you come out of the final corner, or the... Oh, and he heads into the pit, so never mind on that. And that last one is called the last curve. So they were real inventive with their names here. So Wolfsburg, it looks like he is going to be going through. I think he was doing a double lap. Ooh, keeps it in the lines here as he makes his way through to the end of sector 2. So he will cross that sector line about now. So a much faster time that he is currently on than his previous. We'll see, he will take Casio Triangle, then the last curve, and then head down. Pop open the DRS for that little bit before getting there, and that will get him 5th place. So he will hold on to P5. And we can see the Johnny Damon there. He has gotten himself into P2 with a 1:28.520. He is going to come into the pits as well. And Wolf, we can see heading through the S's, or the S curves, before heading down into Dunlop curve. This long, kind of high speed, flat out corner before you sort of got to worry about these last two corners here, although slowing up, so I'm assuming he's coming in. And we do have Boogie, Younger, and Brian all on out laps. I think Brian is going to be our first one, and yeah, he's just coming in at this point, I believe. Christopher Schultz, you got this tonight, buddy, for Benjamin. He's got a good shot. He's on pole right now by about just under 0.2 of a second. So he's had a fantastic start to the qualifying. We'll see how the second kind of rounds for everybody goes. As we are on board with Brian as he makes his way. Or B. Schultz, yeah. Sorry, not Brian. We are on with Brian, though, as he heads on through in the first corner, or first turn, sorry, into turn 2, into the S-curves. And there's this fun kind of windy section here before he hits into turn 7 and in the Dunlop curve. Ooh, goes wide, spins, and that's going to end this run. But that'll allow, I believe that's Flick, but he is on his out lap, and we do have a Younger on his. Boogie is currently through the S-curves. We'll see how this is going to go. He is going to be coming up on the slightly stranded Brian. Small grid. Yep, we got 10 drivers. One of them has left already, so I'm not sure how that's going or what happened there, but we'll find out as he makes his way up into the hairpin of 10 and 11, oddly enough. This hairpin, your turn 10 actually happens before, 11 is then the hairpin, and then you come out into turn 12 here before heading down to Spoon Curve. What is happening to the drivers? I'm not 100% sure. I know bits and pieces. I know at the very beginning of the season we had some people not happy because one got a penalty and him and his buddies all kind of bailed, and then it's been a little bit on the back foot since then. Which is rather unfortunate. I mean, it's a great league. It's a lot of fun. As we can see, Boogie having set a purple sector 2 there as he heads into the Casio Triangle. Let's see what he is going to be able to do. And he will get himself up into P4 with a 129.138. But yeah, there's been some of that, and then some people just life. It's a really long season. For them. I mean, one race almost every week for all of the races, basically, which happens, but we'll see. I know they're still working to grab more and more people, so hopefully they're able to accomplish that. Actually, Flick is on his fast lap, I believe, as well. Younger having popped in the first one to drop into the 127s with a 127.977. Yeah, you got it, buddy. Yeah, Ben's he's got a little work now, but Younger seemed to have found that extra little bit of gas. As we can see, Flick making his way through around Spoon Curve in turn 14 as he heads down towards turn 15 and the 130R corner. It looks like he had a little bit of an incident. Did he pop a tire? That was really weird. I'm not sure what happened. Had himself a little bit of an incident. Alright, well, he is going to come through. And a 130, so he will stay in 7. Brian is looking like, is he going to go into the pits here? Is he going to continue? He is going to make it through to the finish line here. And he will actually hop over Wolfsburg Tuner, who is currently in the pits. Boogie, I believe, is going to be heading down, and there he is, yeah, heading into pit lane. Flick having himself, I think he's taking a second go at it here. As he makes his way through the Dunlop curve into the Denver curve, which is really not a curve. It's a very sharp right-hander, this double right-hander, before heading down. Ooh, that's not what you want to see, but he's going to continue going on. I think this is going to be his call to come straight into the pits now. As, yeah, that corner did not go the way he wanted it to as he makes his way through the hairpin. So, rather unfortunate, but we have quite a few people now in the pits. We're getting towards our final lap here, our final laps. And we'll ride with Johnny Damon, who is on his outlap here. The Johnny Damon. looks like Wolf is also now on their outlap as well as they head into through Sector 1. We'll ride on board with the Johnny Damon as he makes his way towards Spoon Curve here. Trying to burn off as much fuel as he can by high revving it. Keep that car nice and light so he's able to kind of get his way through as quickly as he can on those red-walled soft tires. As he makes his way through the Casio corner, and Knick Knack Paddywhack has just hopped back in, so hopefully he'll be able to get himself going. Ooh, that's... Don't think that's what he was hoping for there. I think he had a little bit of a lockup coming out of the final corner and just scrubbed off way too much speed, so he's going to head on in and come back out afterwards. Do have... Let's hop on. I haven't seen any of B. Schultz yet so far, so we will hop on board with him as he makes his way through into Spoon Curve. In the very fast Red Bulls in real life, obviously, we are playing on, what is it, similar? Everybody's exactly the same in terms of their car design, now it just comes down to everything else. Younger has retired from the session, I don't think he's going to run another one, it looks like. With a 127.977, he is just under 3/10 up on B. Schultz here in P2 as he is making his way out. And now we will fire off for the final flying lap out of himself. As he's going to make it into the S curves. Fast left, fast right, little slower left there, and then the hard right-hander. Before you head into a Dunlop curve here, where it's basically flat out the entirety of the way. And then tap down a little bit just to keep it off, and then it's hard brake for the second right-hander of the Dunger curve before you fly down into the hairpin, where it's a hard right real quick on the brakes. Try not to lock them up as you are going to be braking sort of downhill and then going right back up the hill out of the hairpin. Down on this long kind of curvy section before this double sort of turn of the Spoon Curve, 13 and 14 here. And you go out wide, and then it's just flat out on the throttle as you make your way down towards 130R of turn 15, sorry. Careful to keep it in the lines, and then the Casio curves here, the little quick chicane. Or Casio triangle, sorry, as they make their way through. Cut it as close as you can as he, ooh, a 127.825, so that is now provisional pole. As B. Schultz has taken over, so we'll see what Racer X is able to do. Younger, unfortunately, not going to be able to get any lap in now as he has retired from this session. These are the dedicated drivers. Exactly. As we take a quick look, I believe that's Flick who's going to be coming through first. But I don't think he is quite going as quickly. But it looks like, who's there? Yeah, so we will have Wolfsburg Tuner. He looks like he is almost done his flying lap. So he's going to come to the Casio triangle. We'll see where he is able to get himself into. And he will not be able to get out of a P9 for now. And we have, so Boogie will stay in that same spot. Flick has decided to go in. Brian will stay in 8th. I believe we have Racer X coming through to the Casio triangle, the last set of turns here before hitting up to the last curve, turn 19, and then straight out to that finish line. Keeping it nice and tight, and he will stay in P3 for now. Let's see. Johnny Damon, though, has just set a purple sector 2. So we'll see where he's able to end up slotting the car as he makes his way through Casio Triangle. Is he going to get himself up? And he will hop up one position into P3, and that will be our final grouping here. And that is where qualifying will end. So, as you can see, B. Schultz in that Red Bull has pole position. Younger will be in P2. The Johnny Damon and Racer X in 3 and 4. Boogie in 4th. Wolf in 6th. Flick in 7th. Brian in 8th. Wolfsburg Tuner in 9th. And with no time, Knick Knack Paddywhack will come out in 10th. So hopefully this will be a very fun drive for us here, as we will take kind of a quick break here, get everything organized, as everyone is going to be getting themselves all set up to finish and to start the race, sorry, as they'll try and strategize and get everything organized that way. So we will be right back, and we'll throw on some fun music, because who doesn't love getting to listen to some music? Alright, and we are back as we are going to be starting our quick little formation lap before we get underway with our 27 laps around Suzuka circuit in Japan. As you can see, a few different tire strategies already starting as we have our leader on the hards, I believe followed behind by medium, some softs, interestingly, and knick-knack paddywhack on those hards as well. So kind of a mixed bag here. I wouldn't be expecting more than one pit stop, but you're looking probably in some cases either hard to soft, medium to soft, soft to medium, soft to hards. Kind of all depends on how you're feeling and when expected safety cars happen, if any expected safety cars happen. With 10 cars, everyone will earn points, so it's going to be seeing who earns what points. As we can see, the weaving trying to get as much temperature into the tires as we can. As we make our way through the last curve and towards the grid boxes here. We'll be trying to do their best to get a little bit of extra temp in there, burn the tires up a little bit, get a little, little brake temp, all that kind of fun stuff, and try to not get disqualified. If you get disqualified, that will take all temperature you just got and get rid of it for you, which is not fun. It makes it a lot harder to get a good start, like Boogie just did, unfortunately for him. And we're just going to wait for our final car to slot in. I'm Wolf. Okay, perfect. We have 5 lights all out and we are underway as Schultz is able to get himself a good first jump there. He is going to be able to hold on to first for now, and yeah, he is going to have that. We have side by side a little further back there as Younger doing what he can. Johnny Damon able to get himself around. He does have the inside line as we make it through, and we get through without any incidents. Even better. We will quickly, I just want to throw that back. Oh, not that one. That one back on. There we go. Get rid of that, and boom. All right, as we continue on our way, with B. Schultz having taken over, a nice clean getaway. Ooh, as we see the Red Bull go a little wide through there, and a second time, Boogie having a little bit of trouble. So he is now off in the grass, and that is going to drop him back. Nice of him to kind of get out of the way, but not cause any problems, but it looks like he is dropped to the back there. As we continue on, B. Schultz doing what he can to sort of get himself free and clear as he's almost a full second ahead of the Johnny Damon. Obviously, DRS will be in this race will be active this race. We do not have any adverse weather, just a little overcast for the entirety of this race, so nothing too crazy. And as you can see, we've got that Red Bull followed by the Alpine, then both Aston Martins. It looks like Flick and Boogie having a little bit of a swapperoo back there as they are now chasing down Wolfsburg Tuner. Knick-knack paddywhack already making up quite a few spots as he has gone up to 6th from starting in 10th with our fastest lap, obviously coming from B. Schultz there with a 1:33.229. As he is still holding on. The Johnny Damon, though, has caught up very quickly. They are now within that half second there, just over 3/10, as we see Knick-knack getting his way past, although it looks like there might have been a little bit of an incident as Wolf Okami has a little bit of trouble getting out, but does get past. Okay, and goes past Flick again, so not sure what was going on there, but yeah, a little bit of that. But it does look like the Johnny Damon has lost a little bit of time. to Schultz, as he's now about 0.8 of a second behind. As you can see, a little bit of a gap here after Knick Knack Paddywhack is Brian is just a little bit back. So we do have two separate sections here. We'll have that first group there of 1 to 5, and then we have 6 to 10. So it looks like we have a little bit of an incident. No, they're still going okay. Not sure what happened there. Impossible, like we had talked about, soft to medium, softs to hards. Kind of depends what you're looking for. As we make our way through lap 2 into a Casio curve. It looks like Brian getting passed by Boogie's. Boogie's on his way, and B Schultz setting another fast lap, and Knick Knack Paddywhack taking right over the 131.4 and a 9.6. And DRS is going to be enabled. There is only one DRS straight on the entire track here, and that is coming through the first, or from last curve to first turn, so just along the start-finish straightaway. And it's not a super long one. Ooh, as Schultz goes off into the grass, and that is going to cost them as they do manage to come back out. We do have a VSC. Did Schultz just get bailed out by the VSC there? Yep, I'm gonna say that was lucky, as yeah, they had gone off into the grass, and they were able to keep it together, as that was a little close to causing some problems. We are all good to go now. So VSC still active, but no damage caused. Doesn't even look like they lost a wing or end plate or anything, so not sure what that was about in terms of why it was called, but there you go. Trying to see if this is gonna... Okay, there we go. So we are back under green. DRS is enabled, and the Johnny Damon is right up in the rear diffuser of B Schultz as they make their way through the S curves before heading down to Dunlop curve. And man, Johnny Damon is not letting him go. And this is all flat out through here, so it's going to be as close as he can. A little dab the brakes, but there's a lot of pressure being put on B Schultz now as they make their way through, heading down towards the hairpin. Wolfsburg Tuner has got himself into pit lane. And another little gap has opened up between Knick Knack Paddywhack and Racer X, as B Schultz now has been passed by the Johnny Damon. He has taken over into P1 as they make their way through Spoon Curve and down towards turn 15 of 130R. Although, and it looks like Younger actually was able to make his way through as well. Curious if B Schultz having a little bit of an issue. Younger looking to try and make a move again, but unable to quite make it into the braking zone of the Johnny Damon there. And DRS being active, Johnny Damon trying to take a defensive line of being on the inside is going to be able to continue to hold that first position, as a Younger not quite close enough to be able to utilize DRS to get past. It is a very short DRS zone, so it's going to take a very close thing there. As ooh, Younger gets a little squirrely coming out of turn 3 there. Sorry, turn 4, but he is able to hold it together and continue going. And we can see Racer X also now trying to put pressure on B Schultz as well. All of these guys are going to be on much faster tires than what B Schultz is on. He is on those hard tires. Those will kick in about lap 8, maybe 9, when they'll really start to hit their stride and The mediums will start to feel a little dicey. I think that Johnny Damon is on mediums as well. Yeah, so we've got some medium, medium, hard, and medium in this first 4. So all Schultz needs to do here, B. Schultz needs to do, is try and stick as in touch as possible. That way he's going to have the best shot that he can to sort of push through on the second stint here in the new set of tires. And you can see Knick-Knack Paddywhack kind of lurking in the background there as he has started to close it up a little bit, down to 2 seconds. At some points just under 2, but trying to reel them all back in here. The zigzag of the slipstream, as you can see, everybody trying to utilize as much of it as they can. And unfortunately for Racer X, that's not going to be helpful as he's now dropped out of DRS range. So he's going to really have to work to get himself back into position to be able to utilize that. Otherwise, he's going to have Knick-Knack Paddywhack coming to form very quickly here. Like I say, yeah, Schultz just doing what he can to sort of stick onto the back of this group. As long as he's within shouting range, he's going to have the best shot once they go to their slower tires. Not sure. I don't think... Well, they're going to try and go medium softs, but we'll see how early they have to pit. And so far with the kind of gaps that we have, I'm not expecting any safety cars, but you never know as Bischels looks to make a move up on the inside of Younger. Decides against it. But did take that little look. Just that little wee peekaboo about it. As we can see, Knick-Knack Paddywhack now in 1.5 seconds back, so he is slowly starting to reel these guys in. And once he gets involved, this will be a very interesting top 5, kind of wrestling it out, as they are all very, very quick. And then a little further back, we do have Boogie, kind of doing his own thing. Flick a little further back. He is starting to get a little bit of a threat from Brian, as these two have kind of gone back and forth a few times. And then Wolf Wakami here, hanging out, doing his thing. And then you have Wolfsburg Tuner just in the back here. But back ahead, we do have the Johnny Damon. So they're going to come into the braking zone. And nope, he was able to hold on to it. Looks like Bischoltz got really close there, as well as this group of 4. Keeping it clean, keeping it fast, and really, really tight. As it looks like, oh, Racer X went a little wide on that corner, and I think that's going to be not so good, but Knick-Knack Paddywhack, oh, there goes Racer X right. Oh, actually, no, not even Racer X, that's Younger that ends up in the gravel and flies down, and he ends up backwards, facing the wrong way. He's going to have a little bit of trouble as he's trying to get himself back out of that gravel, and that's going to allow Boogie to get past. It doesn't look like any damage, so just a caution flag as he is able to get her going again, albeit with a couple more rocks in the back of that, or in that cockpit there now, as Bischoltz has been promoted to second by using that. We'll see he's going to have to do a little bit of work to try and catch back up, get that gap a little shorter, as now he's outside of DRS range, and Racer X being right hot on his tail. It's not going to be the most helpful, but we'll see. He might be able to, as using that slipstream, able to kind of get himself a little bit back in here. We'll see how Casio Triangle ends up going. As if that ends up being a little... Ooh, Johnny Damon has himself a little bit of an incident trying to get out of there, as he took the braking of turn, I believe that's 18, a little squirrely, but of course all of them following now as Ben takes the slick little move up the inside, and he is going to take back over, but then he overshoots turn 1, and that is going to drop him back 2 positions, as now he's in 3rd. Just carried too much speed, wasn't able to brake quick enough, and that is going to drop him back, and now he's got Knick-Knack Paddywhack right on his back rear wing there, as the Johnny Damon continues to lead this one. Racer X right behind him. We do have Schultz there, and Knick-Knack Paddywhack right behind. Knick-Knack trying to last to first as best as he can. Lap 8 of 27. As they make their way into the hairpin. Ooh, a little bit of a sketchy entrance there for Knick-Knack Paddywhack, but he is able to continue on. We'll see B. Schultz here as we head on through down into Spoon Curve. Turns 13 and 14. And this long straightaway, fairly long straightaway, down into turn 15 and 130R. Younger looks to make a move, decides against it as they come into the Casio triangle. All four of these cars very, very tightly together now. And this is going to be interesting. What ends up happening is you're going to have the DRS now open. Oh, that looked almost like contact. Racer X does make his way around, but he is gone a little wide. Now they're side by side as they make their way through first curve. He is going to hold on, and he is going to end up in P1. As you can see just behind him, Knick-Knack Paddywhack managing to slide his way through and take over in P3. Oh no. Oh, it looks like the Johnny Damon's tires little struggle through there as he almost slides it. And it looks like we have an issue with, I think that's Younger having got himself a little twisted around. Don't know where his car is. Can't see it. He looks like he's having a little bit of troubles. There we go. He's got himself pointed the right way and he is going to continue. So now we have Racer X taking the lead with Johnny Damon, Knick-Knack Paddywhack, and B Schultz all right behind him. And as we leave Casio Triangle, looks like Knick-Knack took a look to the outside, but there's going to be a much bigger gap from the Johnny Damon as he is trying to play a little bit of defense here. But you're going to have Knick-Knack Paddywhack as he hops to the outside. He's going to try and make his move as well. And he is able to get it, but again, it goes a little deep, goes a little sideways, and he is going to lose out on 2 positions completely there as he got onto that curb a little too much and a little too aggressively and ends up almost going sideways, drifts the corner quite nicely and managed to save it, but not really what you want to do when going through that corner, as Racer X is going to continue to hold on and the Johnny Damon in P2. We're having some entertaining racing up at the front of this pack here. They are all nice and close together. We'll quickly run down. It looks like Flick being very under pressure of Autry. Younger heading into the pits there as he's probably due for a new set of tires. As actually he is going to retire from the session, so that will be it for a Younger. As these guys make it out of Spoon Corner, our top 4. Dueling it out for those podium positions. As we come out of the Casio Triangle, we're going to see who's going to be able to do what. His DRS is open, slipstream for everybody. And you can see the Johnny Damon kicks to the outside, and then ooh, Racer X slots himself right in there, and that'll be the Johnny Damon taking over. As we are heading on through the S-curves, down Dunlop curve, and up to this quick double right-hander here. Very fast one, and then the slower one. Careful to keep it from going too far over, because if you bottom out there, it's not super fun, as we did see a lot of drivers do it in the actual Suzuka race. I missed the first 10 laps, stream didn't come up. Ah, like for you or for me? Am I still? No, I should be streaming, hopefully. Hopefully everything's all good on my end, I hope. What has happened is B Schultz ended up, he was in first for quite a few laps, and then DRS, we had a virtual safety car as he had gone off track, had a little bit of issue getting going again, was able to get going again. Thankfully only didn't lose any positions, but the Johnny Damon just had a nice beat on him, was able to get by. Tried to make another move to get through going into turn 1, carried too much speed, got himself a little wide and ended up losing a couple positions, but these top 4 have been kind of dueling it out and rotating through as Racer X has taken back over. From the Johnny Damon is coming down that front straight. It's pretty tight throughout for all these guys, since Boogie has also entered into the pits to get himself some new tires. And B Schultz is very much under threat as Knick Knack Paddywhack is right up on him, but he's right up on the Johnny Damon, and the Johnny Damon's right up on Racer X. As they make their way through the hairpin. You can see Boogie having just come out of the pits there on some fresh mediums. Flick also on some mediums. Brian on, it looks like some softs, as he is trying to track down Flick as well. And then Wolf on those hards, and Wolfsburg Tuner also on those hards. This little group of 4 kind of holding on to everything, creating as much as they can. As, oh, looks like we've lost Wolf. Not sure what happened there. They are still on the track, so they are AI, which is not going to cause any safety car right now, hopefully. Ooh, the double pass is Racer X going to get left out. Oh, as we're getting a little touchy here. Going side by side for B Schultz and the Johnny Damon, as Schultz is able to get himself up a position, as is Johnny Damon. And Racer X losing out on 2 spots. After long I was waiting for the race to begin, it didn't come back up. Huh. Well, hopefully you can see it now. So it's been pretty exciting racing through these guys. As we can see, Brian has hopped into the pits. Racer X getting a time penalty for multiple warnings, and that is going to be huge, as he is going to kind of just... looked like he was almost trying to switch back there on Knick Knack Paddywhack. But that is going to more or less kind of effectively end his day there in terms of the podium, as these guys are all very tight coming through, and this is going to be a very slipstream heavy. B Schultz is going to do what he can to try and stay nice and close, as he actually is going to make a move to the inside, and he is going to go through before even getting to the DRS zone here, as he will come through the Casio curve, or Casio triangle. He's going to have to get on the throttle and try and create a quick gap, as actually he is going to come into the pits. Interesting. And he's going on to medium tires, so that's going to be interesting, as the Johnny Damon and Knick Knack Paddywhack are going to continue on. So he's going a hard medium for B Schultz here, so will be, because I think a lot of these guys are going to try and push these tires as long as they can and try to go to softs, but hard medium could work out. We are on lap 14 of 27. But I don't think it's 14, that'd be 20. Yeah, it should be okay. It'll all kind of depend on how burnt out those tires were. As, oh no, the Johnny Damon goes wide, as now he is very much in trouble, as we've got all 3 of these guys all right beside it, and Racer X is going to get his way past the Johnny Damon. As you can see, Flick is also hopping into pits as well. I think that's actually going to cost him his position, as Wolf should be able to get past. Now it's going to come down to who's going to blink next. Who is going to hop in and get themselves onto a new set of boots of these top 3. I'm guessing B Schultz was doing what he could. He is starting to reel him in a little bit. He was at about 18 seconds. He's now a little less time than that, and that should allow him to get very close, if not back up to the front, as none of these guys are going to come in. So he's going for an undercut here. We'll see what these guys all end up doing, as they're going to try and push it to the over Overcut? Sounds weird. Yeah. As we make our way through, it looks like we have an issue in Sector 1, and that's going to actually bring out a VSC, and that could not have been timed worse if you are B-Schultz there. As he is, yeah, well, actually it might work depending on how quickly they get this dealt with. It doesn't look like there's too much of an issue, as I think whoever it was is going again. Yeah, no. Oh, that's, so Wolfsburg Tuner, he lost his front wing there. A little bit of a spin incident, but he is going to continue. So thankfully no issues there, but we'll see what this ends up kind of causing. As these guys are still quite a ways away from the start-finish line. Boogie's going to get himself a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. Yeah, these guys still have over half the track to kind of go. VSC is gone, so it's not really going to help. So that actually does help B-Schultz, as now he's down to 14 seconds. Did you disconnect from the game? Yes, you did. Well, it said you left. I don't know if you disconnected. I don't know what happened. But yes, you have. You are currently not here. Still holding strong, though. You're in P6-ish. You have a 3-second time penalty, but you're in P6. Knick-Knack Paddywhack is going to make his way past Racer X, heading on into the Casino Triangle, or Casio Triangle. They're all going to continue on again, as none of these guys really wanting to hop into the pits. They're going to try and push these tires as best they can. The Johnny Damon goes around. Oh no! Knick-Knack Paddywhack is going on both sides of him. The Johnny Damon able to get himself into P1. Racer X goes a little wide again. They almost come to contact there, giving each other space. Respectable driving, and Racer X is going to hold on to P1. How do you get back? You should be able to join the session with someone. I don't know. As long as or join up in the session, it should allow you back in. And then you just have to hop back in your car. Other than that, I have no idea. As Racer X very under threat here. With how many corners there are, it makes it very tough. As ooh, he takes a sharp line on the inside there. Is able to create a little bit of space. B-Schultz now, yeah, this overcut might have worked. It looks like these guys' tires are getting kind of beat down. And with some of those medium runners having gone over 16 laps, I don't see there being much of an issue with B-Schultz. He would have had to go 15. These guys are on 16 laps and still pushing strong. Oh, there you are. You're back in. I didn't have a VS. Oh, Racer X getting passed by Knick-Knack Paddywhack. Alright, is anyone coming in on this lap? Looks like the Johnny Damon and Racer X both coming into the pits. So now we're going to keep an eye out. This Knick-Knack Paddywhack's going to be all by himself in some clean air. So let's see where Schultz is going to actually... He's going to go flying past them. As the Johnny Damon is on his way out. B-Schultz is on the faster tire. These guys have all gone to sauce for 10 laps on those guys. This could get interesting. And B-Schultz is gone. The overcut looking... Or the undercut looking like it might have been very strong here today. As now he is about 10 seconds. We're going to keep an eye on Knick-Knack Paddywhack. See what he is going to do. As he is going to be your... kind of the, not necessarily deciding factor, but it's going to be an important one for him, as he's got to come in at some point here. He is on those hard tires, and he could try and push it, but I think he's losing more time than he's actually holding on, as yeah, Schultz is starting to reel him in fairly quickly. Let's see what he decides to do, as he's probably going to want to come in and get onto a set of softs at this point for the next 9-ish laps. This is... We'll see, is he going to come in here? No, he's going to push it for another lap, and I don't know if that's the best of options, but he is going to keep it going. About a second slower than his normal pace now without DRS, without the slipstream, so obviously B-Schultz doesn't have the slipstream either, but he is on a faster tire and a much fresher tire, as he is now on 18 lap old hards. This is going to be kind of the best shot for B. Schultz here. He's still holding that 10.3 second gap on the Johnny Damon, so they're not reeling him in either, which is good. A little bit, but not too bad. Obviously, so this is going to be Knick Knack Paddywhack's going to have to come in fairly shortly, I'm assuming. It's now under 8 seconds here. Obviously, the Johnny Damon on those soft tires, so he's got a little bit of a tire advantage over B. Schultz as well. Or sorry, the Johnny Damon on those soft, so he's got a little bit of an advantage over B. Schultz, but we'll see how long before B. Schultz's tires should start to kick in as well. As I would be shocked if we don't see Knick Knack coming in on this lap. Maybe pushes it one more. But he is massively losing time here. And that's not going to help either. He gets a little squiggly coming out of turn 18 into last curve. You can see there, so B. Schultz is starting to be able to see him. He's at the end of the straight, and how far back here? So, got about 10 seconds. So he is still pushing pretty well. The Johnny Damon, though, he is setting that fast time at 1:30.5. EK or Deathstorm. He's reeled it down to about 7.5 seconds. The Johnny Damon is 9 seconds back. And we are under our last 8 laps to go here. Alright, let's see. Ooh. Didn't mean to do that. We'll see. Alright, Knick Knack Paddywhack. He's gonna come in through here and pit this lap here. He makes his way through Casio Triangle, and yes, okay, so he is gonna come in. Ooh, that was close. Just got it back down in time, and before he's even gonna get into his pit box, that's going to allow B. Schultz to go ripping past as we have this weird bumpy. Alright, and okay, so the Johnny Damon's gone through 129. And the Johnny Damon's going to make it through his... Next question is Racer going to beat him out of the pit lane here. Ooh, it's going to come down right to the end. And yes, Racer X is going to get out ahead of him. And he's going to be on warm tires, so that's going to hurt Knick Knack Paddywhack a little bit. And he's got about... Okay, so B. Schultz now. So this is where the real pressure is going to start. As we have the Johnny Damon, he is 7.6 seconds back with 7-ish laps to go. Who is commentating? Oh, K. Sporticus. Kenton. Whatever works for you. Or K. Sporty. Depending on which one we talk of. I have too many names now. But yeah, so seven laps to go. He's about 7 seconds back, so this could get real interesting very quickly. Well, more so near the end. This last lap's going to be very important. It's going to all come down to how quickly the Johnny Damon can start to try and reel everybody in. Not sure how well it's going to go. He does have a big gap to Racer X, and Knick Knack Paddywhack is trying to do what he can to sort of get back onto the podium here. So I don't think he has a shot at first anymore. Now, the downside, Racer X is on those hard tires, and Knick Knack Paddywhack is on the soft, so he's going to go... should have no issue getting by him here. As this will probably be him ripping on by, and there he goes, as he will take over into P3. And obviously, Racer X does have the 3-second time penalty, so that's not going to help. We can see... the Johnny Damon, he is now 6.4 seconds back. trying to get everyone in voices. For the most part, it'll be me. I think I've only missed a few races throughout this year. Yeah. So we're at 6 seconds, 6 laps to go. As they come to the hairpin. Beachels needs to get a move on. I know, probably going to be trying to save as much of that battery as he can, not using any of it till he absolutely has to, but he's at about 6 seconds. Yeah, we're always going to get a little bit of help as there is the McLaren ahead of him. We might be able to get a little bit of a slipstream off of for a bit. As we make our way through Casio Triangle. So he's going to try and use that slipstream, try and push himself a little bit. So you can see Johnny Damon coming out of last curve there behind. Nick Paddywhack setting the fastest lap of the 129.5. So a flying race. A flying lap out of him as we make our way through into the S curves. Let's see if he's going to be able to utilize this McLaren. He's going to kind of want to hope to pass him, or, I mean, as soon as possible. But if you're going to use it, we would really enjoy if it was coming out of Spoon curve, but I don't know. You do an awesome job. I appreciate it. I try to. It's always harder with small field, but do what you can. All right, and we can see here, you can hear the Johnny Damon. Oh, looks like he had a little bit of an issue getting out of that corner. Did not go as fast as I think he wanted it to. And he's got Knick-Knack breathing down his neck as well. You can see there's... And you got Knick-Knack right there. He's about 3 seconds, but he's closing fairly quickly. So the Johnny Damon kind of has to get a move on it as well. Bichels, this might have been the perfect thing that he needed, as that's going to allow him to sort of stay near that 6 seconds. Oh, I thought I had a little mini. I thought he was given a penalty there, as Flick has DNF'd as well. Where's Flick? Oh, he is off to the side. Oh, I hope that doesn't bring out a safety car, because that would be just not cool. No, he is very off the track, so we're all good there, and that is good. Okay. Bischoltz having jumped over 6 seconds again. This might be a perfect storm for him. This might have been a very smart call. As it taking a look, yeah, it looks like the Johnny Damon, he's about 6 seconds back, and Knick-Knack Paddywhack is closing fast. And he's already down to 1.5 seconds. So we're going to see how this all ends up going as they make their way into Dinger curve. I had to leave the race to become a family emergency. Oh, snap. Well, see you next week, hopefully. Hopefully everything's okay, buddy. You're still 9th. Could have been worse. Hopefully everything's okay. We'll see you next time there, Flick. Have a good one. Be safe, all that fun stuff. As we can see, Knick-Knack Paddywhack, he's almost a second back now, or almost inside of a second, so that's going to be a problem. So the Johnny Damon, I think, is struggling a little bit on these tires. This is allowing Bischoltz to kind of do what he needs to do. He's over 6.4 seconds back, so even if Knick-Knack gets past him, he's going to have to really charge on Bischoltz to not have a problem here. Or to catch him. Ooh, a little squirrely coming out of the final corner, heading into the last curve. You can see Bischoltz way up at the distance there. As he goes completely around him. And that will allow Knick-Knack Paddywhack to get up into first, or into second. So we'll see what Knick-Knack is able to do, as he's going to be trying to do what he can to sort of chase everybody down. As we are on lap 24 of 27, so closing in on the final bits here. Bischoltz is going to, I believe, get a little bit of a boost, because he's got that McLaren still ahead of him. And Wolf is doing a great job of kind of staying in front and sort of allowing a little bit of a slipstream. Knick-Knack is closing again fairly quickly. He's down to 6.6 seconds again. As they are getting kind of close. As we are heading into our final few laps. Comes through sector 2 about half a second off his best. So the tires degrading a little bit as they make their way through Casio Triangle. Peanut Gallery in here making fun of the fact that I keep calling it Casino. As we head into 3 laps to go. It's down to 6 seconds, so he's got a 6-second gap with 3 laps. He's just got to hold on. As long as he can hold off 2 seconds a lap, that's all he needs to do. Keep it around as best you can. They are on faster tires with those softs. You'll be there next Sunday. That's good. Like I said, good luck. Hopefully everything ends up okay. Stay safe. Hope everyone's all good and everything. And we'll see you next week. And Schultz comes out of the hairpin. The Johnny Damon actually is putting a little bit of pressure now on Knick Knack Paddywhack as well. Curious if them pushing as hard as they did on those tires is burning them a little faster than I think they wanted. I think Schultz is really getting that slipstream now. I'd be using the crap out of it. So that's sector 2 a little slower than I think he wanted. Use the slipstream. As he was about a second slower on that than his best time. But we'll still holding on. He's still keeping him at about 6 seconds. 2 laps to go here. As Knick Knack and Paddywhack, Knick Knack and Paddywhack, Knick Knack Paddywhack and the Johnny Damon and now are separated by over a second, so there's there's still a threat, but the Johnny Damon's outside of DRS, so that'll help Knick Knack a little bit, and Knick Knack can kind of focus his way forward, trying to create as much of a gap as he can, and try and close down the gap as much as he can. As you can see, he took off quite quickly and is now down to 4.8 seconds and closing fairly fast. Not sure if Bichel's just getting a little too much dirty air off the car ahead of him, and now he's trying to have to slow down going into these corners a little more than I think he expects to, or wants to. We'll see. So he's got the blue flag of the car ahead of him. It's 4.4 seconds coming into the last lap, so he's going to have to kind of keep it motoring. If I'm him, I'm looking and hoping that I can try and swing by him coming off of Spoon. As we can see, Knick Knack not far behind here. 4 seconds flat now as they head on their way. Behind him you can see the Johnny Damon. And Racer X just a little bit further back. We do have Boogie and Brian still rocking as he comes through the finish here. And then you have, or not the finish, but the start line. You've got Wolf, as you can see right there, being chased by B. Schultz as we are on our last lap, so we're going to see what B. Schultz is able to do. He's got a 4-second gap on Knick Knack Paddywhack. And you can see everybody's a little more spread out now, but I think this will all go well. Should hopefully. Ooh, as he gets a little lumpy there. Ooh, cuts on the inside. That was a bold move going into that corner. I don't know if I would have wanted to try to pull that there. Just run a little bit too much of a risk, but if gap car, and he made it work, so that's a bonus. And he's created a little bit of a, not necessarily a wall, but he's created sort of barricade between him and P2. As he's going to make his way around Spoon for the final time. And then head on down to Casio Triangle. Yeah, everything good. We're all good. Down into the last curve, and I believe this shall be the win for B. Schultz. Followed by second for Knick Knack Paddywhack. The Johnny Damon the Johnny Damon having himself a little bit of an incident. Racer X is a little ways away, so he should be okay. And he is going to manage to slide himself into P3 to get on the podium once again. He's going to limp that car home. There we go. Racer X going to be heading on his way. As he makes it through a Casio triangle. And then you've got the Boogie That Be, as he's going to finish it up as well. And we had Wolf and Brian already finished, and that is your last driver in Wolfsburg Tuner. And that will be your finishers for today. So a huge shout out to B. Schultz. Knick Knack Paddywhack does get driver of the day, having a 10th to 2nd. Couldn't quite pull off the last to first challenge. But a fantastic race out of B. Schultz. Much love to my fellow Canadian. We just need this in the actual F1 series. I'd be 100% okay with that. But instead, everyone just hates on Stroll unnecessarily. Love Stroll. But congratulations to B. Schultz, Knick Knack Paddywhack, and the Johnny Damon. It was some fantastic racing. And that second stint, I mean, going for the undercut by B. Schultz was very smart. It worked out very in his favor. It was a fantastic drive for him. He's able to hold off and start it, win by 3.6 seconds. So a fantastic drive. Congratulations to them. For next week, we will be heading to, I can never pronounce it, but Qatar, Sale, I believe. That's where we will be for December 3rd. So actually, sorry, not next week. That'll be in a couple of weeks, as we have a little bit of a break here before heading out to Qatar. But as for the results, B. Schultz in first, Knick Knack Paddywhack in second, the Johnny Damon in third, Racer X in fourth, Boogie in fifth, Wolf in sixth, Brian Autry in seventh, Wolfsburg Tuner in eighth. And then as for our last two DNFs, DK Flick, like I said, hopefully everything's okay with you, buddy. And then we did have Younger retire first as well. And with that, we're going to wrap this all up. Congratulations once again to B. Schultz, Knick Knack Paddywhack, and the Johnny Damon. Very, very fantastic racing from all of you guys. It was very exciting to watch. Lots of fun for sure. And we will be back again next week. So hopefully we will see you guys all there. Have yourselves a great rest